Okay. If I didn't know who Doorman was, I would have thought this was Cloak, because I recognize them as Cloak-like powers.
Yeah.
And Cloak and Dagger are more recognizable than Doorman is, ultimately.
Is there a doorman in the comics?
Hell yes! He's part of the Great Lakes Avengers.
Oh, is this the secret MCU like crossover that they've been planning for the past few years? Because are we working up towards the Great Lakes Avengers?
This is it. They're like, yes, we spent millions of dollars setting up the Young Avengers. Forget it. We're going to spend tens of dollars setting up.
What's going on, everyone? I am Phil, along here with Joe.
What's up, Phil?
Not much. So we have watched the first 4 episodes of Wonder Man, and we're gonna break them down for you, tell you what we thought about them. But spoilers for the first 4 episodes, right, Joe? We're going spoiler.
Yes, absolutely. Just the first 4. Nothing else.
All right. Um, so we start off with episode 1.
It is called Matinee, and it is directed by the showrunner Destin Daniel Creighton. All right, we meet Simon Williams, who is a struggling but working actor in Los Angeles, and he's going to the set of American Horror Story, and he has a speaking part, and it's cool because like we get to see a little bit of the acting process and how the sausage is made, but he is a very uh, detail motivated actor. He's the kind of guy that imagines up backstories, even for characters with just 1 or 2 lines.
Yeah, a few lines I think he has in that episode.
And it's like a 5 or 10 minute scene of him sort of like gently pushing, like, what if it was like this? Should I have this in my desk? What if I turned this way? What if she didn't get that close? What if I died over here instead of over there? And everyone's super nice to him, but behind their back, they're like, which one of us is gonna fire him?
I mean, like, at some point, like he like at first it's like okay, we can try it that way, and then like the
Of
more
course.
he does it, like the more he pushes, the more like this
Yeah.
ain't gonna work out.
Right, because they're losing time, and like everyone's trying to be accommodating. The people are like, well, we're lit to have his death take here, but it might take a while to move it. And the lighting guy's like, it would just take a few minutes, and the director's like, damn you, because they just want to move on. They don't care. Um, but it's fantastic, like cringe comedy. Like it really works. You feel bad for Simon because you know the hammer's gonna drop.
Yeah,
Um, but it's still interesting all the same.
yeah. I mean, right off the bat, like, um, I was not expecting guest stars in Wonder Man. I don't know why, because it's set in Hollywood,
Yeah,
um, and they get relatively well known names to play themselves in Wonder Man. Um, so the very first one we get is Ashley Greene, and
sure, yeah.
as as uh, as Wonder Man himself, Simon Williams mentions she was in Twilight.
Right. I love you. I loved you in Twilight.
We should also mention that Simon Williams was played by Yahya Abdul Mateen II, I believe
Yes.
is the full name. Funny thing, like I remember like watching an interview with him, and I think somebody gave him the nickname Sweet Potato.
Really? And he was like loving it?
He didn't realize it's because his initials spell yam.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. I would embrace that then. If someone
Yeah.
was just like, how's it going, sweet potato? I'd be like, excuse me, sir? What if my initials spelled yeah? I'd be all
Um,
about
but after that, he gets home a little bit earlier than expected, and he's not having a good home life. It seems like his girlfriend is moving out, kind of in the cover of the night, really, but it's like the afternoon.
Right. She says, you weren't supposed to be back till 5. And,
Yeah,
so she was hoping to sneak out.
and played by Olivia Thirlby,
Love
which
it.
I don't know if she's gonna be in. She's not in the first anymore in the first 4 episodes. I hope she comes back because I haven't seen her in a while, and I hope to see more of her.
It would be really be a waste if they didn't bring her back, but um, I mean, Marvel's real good at wasting really
Yeah,
stellar casting sometimes. No offense, but
yeah. But somebody that they're not wasting, I believe in this series is Ben Kingsley, who comes back as
woo,
Trevor Slattery. Um, and so Simon and Trevor kind of have a meet cute in a I guess afternoon showing of Midnight Cowboy, I
yep.
believe it is.
That, it's almost as if Midnight Cowboy's playing all the time. Like, but it can't be, of course. But yeah, it's like a mid-afternoon screening, and Trevor's talking on his phone, and Simon confronts him about it, and then they sit quietly watching the movie, and they talk afterwards, and there's a real bond. Like right away, as actors, they're like they're talking about the process, and they're talking about the connection to the role and how Midnight Cowboy was a classic, and they talk about the themes of that movie. It was fascinating to see the beginning of that relationship, especially how far it goes in the rest of the series.
Yeah. Um, so Trevor lets it drop that he's got a big audition coming up for a new Von Kovac movie, Wonder Man. So I don't know if this is a connection to the comics, but do you remember that there's a Avengers villain called I think it's Kovac.
Hmm.
Kovac hasn't really been a thing in comics since like I want to say maybe the 70s. It's spelled differently. Kovak, I think.
Korvac.
Korvac.
He is like he's like a galaxy being.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but he seems to be fighting all the Avengers at once, so he must be a tough boy.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's a connection to the comics in some way.
Maybe so.
Um,
Here's a comic called the Korvac Saga, and right there on the cover, front and center, Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. Yeah, so I think after that, like Simon is on a mission to get an audition for Wonder
Right.
Man.
Which they seed early, like in the opening scene, I think, where they show Simon as a kid and his dad has taken him to see a Wonder Man movie in that would have been, I was going to say the 80s, but nope. He's not as old as us. It would have been probably 2005 or something, maybe 2010. Normally, Marvel will always give us like the classic costume. Like
Mhm.
at some point in the TV shows, they'll show like Scarlet Witch in her uh,
Yeah,
comic accurate costume. So like right off the bat, we get not our Wonder Man, but a Wonder Man in comic accurate Wonder Man outfit.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so Simon he has an emotional connection already to the character, and he locks in. He's like, I was born to play this role.
yeah. And he does finagle his way into auditioning for Wonder Man, even though um, that that day is the last day of auditions.
I mean, the way he does it is great. I mean, he totally goes behind the back of his agent. He steals the information from her, and and he pretends to be her on the phone, or be no
It's
to
persistent.
her assistant. And there's a shot of him on the phone driving to where he knows the audition is, speaking to someone about getting his name on there. But it's a great shot because he's like weaving in and out of traffic, and I mean it's a wonderful little moment of uh, an actor busting his buns to get a part, which is great. We don't see this kind of stuff in Marvel shows
Yeah.
or movies, so it was awesome.
Yeah, and one of the things that, like, was interesting, neither one of us are anywhere connected to Hollywood, but seeing this process, it feels very real to me, and if you are an actor out there and you are watching Wonder Man, let us know in the comments below how accurate this is.
Yeah, what's that actor hustle like? How good did Marvel get it?
Yeah. Um, so he's at the audition, and then, somebody is killing it. You can hear the laughs coming out of the room, and out walks Trevor. Um,
He's just got that charm. even being a recognizable former terrorist cannot erase. He's just too charming.
And I like throughout the, at least throughout the first 4 episodes, like, people do recognize him. Like, it's like because, I mean, he terrorized, the US, and, like, he's very visible, and it's good to see that, like, Marvel, like, oh, following up on that.
It's yeah, oh for sure. Like it's a thing. You're right. Everyone would recognize him. So it's great that every interaction he has with someone is, "Hey, aren't you?" Or "I'm so glad to see you get past that." That sort of thing.
Yeah,
Um, it's he cannot shake it for sure, but he's still positive and he's still like, I mean, he loves acting, so he's focused. So good for him, right? So he sees Simon and confronts him. He like pulls him into the bathroom and says, like, "Hey, I see what you're doing." Lets it go, but as Simon is called in, he can see that Simon is struggling. Like he sees the note that Simon is scribbling down on the page and how he's too much in his head. Trevor makes an effort to really ground him and like sort of a be here now, live in the moment sort of thing before he goes in. So he tries to keep him centered.
yeah, um,
So we don't see, no, we do see the audition. It's kind of great. Like he does, we see a reading where you're like, oh, right. He's an actor playing an actor, and they got a very good actor to play that actor. Because it's like a push in on him doing the reading. But then we cut to the two of them. They're having drinks afterwards and sort of unpacking it. Um, and this leads towards the end of the episode where we get a big reveal about Trevor.
yeah. So I believe Trevor gets a phone call, and it's revealed that the meet cute that they had earlier was kind of staged. Trevor was meant to meet up with Simon Williams.
Right. And it had me wondering, like, how much was staged of every time we see Trevor in this episode and a little bit beyond, because like did the company, I mean we could say that the company that he's talking to is Damage Control. um did they also get him the interview or the audition, and is he really charming them, or is that all part of a show?
Yeah,
I questioned that the whole time as it went along, but I think that's good. I think you're supposed to.
yeah. I mean, I thought it was a great first episode.
Yeah.
Um, like I think what Daniel Destin Cretton also directed Shang-Chi, and one of the things I liked about Shang-Chi was kind of like the first part of it where like it's just following Shang-Chi in his like daily life. And like that's really what I liked about this episode because it felt very much like that, like just following around Simon Williams in his daily life.
It's a great way to get to know someone that we have no context with, just like it was in Shang-Chi. Um, and I think it's really successful. He also directs the second episode
Yes.
called Self Tape. And the premise of this episode is that his agent is saying to Simon, "You got to get yourself on tape because you got like kind of a callback. They want to see you on tape so they can judge you and see
Hmm.
if you then make it to the next round." And he's having trouble getting himself on tape because of limited space to do it, or like, I mean, he's still super in his head about it.
Yeah.
We should say that he's in almost every scene of this show, which is great. We're really on the journey with him. But there are a few scenes he's not in, and it is a lot with having to do with Trevor being manipulated by Damage Control. And they're like, you gotta get in, you gotta help him with this
Yeah.
audition, with this test. Like, they've made it his mission this to get Simon's self tape made. So Trevor
Yeah.
is now in control of trying to get that done.
I also like how Trevor doesn't want to seem too eager. Simon, Simon texts him, and then like um, the guy from Damage Control, who's also the guy who was in Spider-Man: No Way Home.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, a great actor. I don't have his name handy, but I mean, he had a a role in Secession where he recurred a lot. He's a great actor. It's great to see him sort of becoming solid in the Marvel universe.
but he wants Trevor to respond right away. But Trevor's like, I don't want to seem too eager, so he just puts down the phone, makes him sweat a little bit.
Yeah, and he's pretending. He's like what he would do. He's like, and I close my book and I walk across the room and I look at the phone and it's like, oh, yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, but
Uh,
they eventually decide. He's like, I'll be there in 20 minutes, and he heads off to do it.
yeah, and I guess what follows for I guess almost the entire episode is Simon and Trevor's quest to get to
Right.
do the self tape.
uh, I mean, the most standout part of it is they go to Joe Pantoliano's house. We find out that Trevor has a former relationship with him because they were both on the same show. And according to Trevor, Joe Pantoliano stole the lead from him and got him kicked off. So he's like, he owes me one. And it's Joey Pants. And it's weird because we all love Joe Pantoliano and he's so welcoming and so nice into his beautiful home. And he has maybe a baby's day out poster in every room.
I mean, they had a lot of them left over. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I might as well decorate my house with them.
I'm gonna wallpaper a whole room.
So I will say, um, when Joey Pants walks up to the door and you don't really get to see him clearly, I was like, oh, did they get Larry David?
But yeah, yeah. Uh, he does. He's giving off huge Larry David vibes. It's interesting. When Simon meets him, he does exactly what he did with the girl from Twilight, Ashley Green. He does the same thing. Like he picks like a key moment in there. He's like, every time I eat steak, I think about you in the Matrix. And I know everybody says De Niro and um, uh, in Midnight Run, the other guy in Midnight Run. Why am I blanking on his name? He says, but I know they say it's a two-hander, but you were right there with him. So he's like, Grodin, Charles Grodin. Thank you, Redemption. Anyway, so he hits him with like compliments that feel sort of pre-programmed, but they're authentic and it just shows how in the world of acting and in the world of filmmaking he is like that. He knows everybody and he knows all this stuff and he just loves it. I thought that was an interesting touch because it happens. It keeps happening every time he meets
Yeah,
somebody. He's like, "Oh yeah, you."
I am like I mentioned earlier, like I'm surprised at like how many guest stars that they've gotten. Um, I mean, Joey Pants was complete. Like I did not expect Joey Pants to show up. Uh, I did not know it was Joey Pants until after he introduced himself. So, but like it was a nice surprise. But yeah, so like Joey Pants is a little bit condescending to Trevor. Um,
I mean,
I,
a
I
lot of
like
it.
I like how he was like, oh, it's it must be nice to be out of the game. You don't have to care about how you look or your weight. It's just
He's like, "I'm standing right here." What's really great is that um, Simon calls him out on it.
yeah,
It's Simon who is sort of starstruck by people like Joe Pantoliano. He calls him out on being condescending, on being a jerk, and says we're out of here basically. And then Trevor stands up for acting because Joe Pantoliano has this one thing where he says about like, oh, we're just playing games. We're just having, look at us making all this money from just playing games. And he's like, Trevor's like, it's not a game. It's the most consequential thing that a person can do. I mean, I don't know if I agree with him, but I love his passion.
yeah. It's good that he believes that. Like
Yeah,
he has
that's the thing. You really believe that he does believe it. Um, I mean, it's important to give background on Trevor. Like, he's got debts and he was a junkie. He's now been clean for a long time. But he also went to prison for being the Mandarin and was broken out. And that's why he's being sort of forced by damage control now um, to keep an eye on Simon and sort of get information about Simon. Part of that in this episode is he's supposed to take a ring off and put it on Simon's computer. when they go back to Simon's house and they successfully finally do a self tape, um, he like you can see him struggling with it. He doesn't want to do it.
I don't think he wanted to be a pawn of damage control to begin with, but it's something that he's been forced into just because of his situation. And also, it was this episode where we have the hilarious flashback where Trevor is like talking to somebody on the plane about uh, like what he's been up to, and like they're walking like in through the airport, and he gets ambushed by damage control. Like somebody like
Yeah,
tackles him to the ground.
yeah. He's like, I'm not resisting. Like, yeah, it must be strange to be a former fake terrorist.
But I like the full circle moment of like them starting in Simon's apartment and like saying it's we can't do it here, and then going on this journey only to come back to
But yeah, yeah.
his apartment to do this self tape, and it's good. So Trevor also, while he's got the ring on the computer, which is sending uh data to damage control, like he notices there's like a giant sheet kind of like hung up on the wall behind the couch.
Not a
Um,
decorative one.
he's like, this doesn't look great.
Doesn't go there.
And he kind of pulls it down and reveals like um, the wall has been damaged by something very very strong, probably.
Right. And we saw earlier in the episode what did cause that damage. And it is, I mean, we haven't really mentioned it, but Simon does have powers. Like he's sort
Yeah,
of concealing those powers. And I said to you when I was at this stage or at episode 3 stage of watching the shows, I said like the least interesting parts of the show so far are whenever they even give you a glimpse of superpowers, because not only does it feel like it sort of doesn't fit, but like it's just a reminder of the show that people might think it's supposed to be that it's not being.
yeah,
Um, which I celebrate. I think this is I'll say that this show is better. It's one of the best things Marvel has done in a long time, and it's really refreshing. But the flashes of superpowers remind you that like, oh, this is a Marvel show. Um, and it's almost part in the back of my mind. I'm like, are they gonna like just have a fight soon? And like, he's gonna fight his
yeah.
famous villains or whatever, just like they do in all the other shows, which I love sometimes. Sometimes doesn't work. Anyway, we've only seen brief glimpses. Him being angry and sort of wrecking his room in episode 2, I think, and then in episode 1 we see a flash in his eyes. That's it so far in the
Yeah.
first 2 episodes.
Um, then we come to the third episode, which I think is titled Pacoima.
Pacoima, which is a town. Simon's childhood home in Pacoima, Los Angeles.
Yeah, I did not know. Like, I'm not obviously not familiar with anything in California.
Say it.
Pacoima, I have no idea where that is.
Uh, uh, let's find out. Dear Dr. Google, where is Pacoima? Pacoima. It's in the San Fernando Valley, it looks like. It's part of Los Angeles.
Okay,
It looks to be North Los Angeles.
all right.
I mean,
Um,
we could have guessed, and we had a 4-way chance of getting it right. Turns out it's North Los Angeles.
North. Um, but this episode focuses on um, Simon's mother's birthday party, um, which Trevor has to, or is being forced to, kind of like sneak his way into, or like weasel his way into, I guess.
Yeah, damage control is like, you got to get yourself to that party, and he's like, for real? um, and it's weird that he's there, but he has good spirits about it. But everyone's like, what's he doing here?
I,
Except
I
for
mean,
maybe Simon's mother, but especially Simon's brother is like,
yeah.
who is this guy? But his mother's
So
very open and well.
like part of me, like when as the episode is progressing, like everybody who's at that party is like, who invited him to the cookout?
For sure. For sure. But he's super charming and affable, and he talks to everybody. Uh,
Yeah.
but there's no way he was comfortable just being a complete. I mean, I can't imagine. If I was a stranger in a home in someone's home and they were having a family cookout or a family barbecue or a family whatever, I would not. I would be like, I'm that guy in the corner.
I like how, like, he's trying to get because, like, he's been tasked with trying to get stories, like, childhood stories out of the attendees of this party, um, and, like, I really like Ben Kingsley's choice, like, whenever he's talking, like, he kind of like, slightly shifts, like, where the the, um, the wire is, like, he's just, like, just
Yeah,
slightly, like, angling it towards
he's leaning it in. Yeah,
he can't get any stories. Nobody has any stories of Simon from his childhood.
yeah. I wonder why that is because the only thing we really know from the childhood was that there was a fire that Simon was in the room during. His father passed away. I don't know if they say it's from the fire, but
I don't think they do say it's from the fire because I think um I don't know if it was earlier or after the fire. Um, but yeah, I don't think it was the same thing.
okay. And there's just this overall feeling that there's something special about Simon that the family may or may not know, and that his mother's super proud of him. Like he's a working actor, and he's going to
Yeah,
be on American Horror Story, and Simon doesn't have the heart to tell her that, that's not happening. His mother's also supporting him. She's sending him money.
yeah,
Um,
and that is a point of contention with his brother. Who I remember this as I was watching the episode. Do you know who Simon Williams' brother is?
I do only because they kept saying his name, and I was like, hmm, who is that? And I did. I looked it up and I was like, I don't see how they're gonna make that happen. But God
so,
bless them if they figure it out.
so for those of you who are not familiar with the Wonder Man lore, I guess Wonder Man's brother is a supervillain named the Grim Reaper. Dresses in I think a black unitard, with a scythe for a hand.
Yeah, his whole hand is gone. It's just scythe jammed into it. He's got like a skull and crossbones, and I mean he's got like a Hella style like headpiece. Maybe not quite that elaborate, but yeah, he's not the kind of superhero or supervillain that you would see just walking down the street casually. You
Yeah.
wouldn't run into the Grim Reaper at the 3 p.m. screening of Midnight Cowboy.
Um, I don't know, but I have 4 more episodes to watch, so I don't know. Anything could happen, right?
Anything could happen. No
I
spoilers.
I do like though that they've kind of made it like Eric a villain in Simon's life.
For sure. Yeah.
Even though like he's not overtly doing anything bad to him, but like uh he's kind of denigrating Simon and his chosen profession of acting, and like uh Simon explains like like the audition process and the callbacks, and Eric is like, "Oh, you mean you're getting a second interview for a job that you may or may not get?"
And
Um,
Trevor's there to back him up. He's like, well, it's kind of like that, but not really.
and he's really trying to get Simon to work for him as a insurance adjuster. I think it's called. I think it was.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think it's normal sibling behavior if or it's normal like parent to child behavior if you see them sort of spiraling or going or their life's not going anywhere or they're going in a dangerous direction. You want to help them, even though sometimes the best way to help somebody is to let them live their life, succeed or fail and follow their dreams. That's a good thing. So it's true though. He comes off as a villain, um, but I mean, it's clear that he loves him. He just wants him
yeah,
to get his business together.
and I feel like that is something that is that I think a lot of people who are pursuing creative uh like professions deal with a lot. Like, people don't really understand what you do, and they're like, "Why don't you just, work an office job? You can come
Yeah,
sell insurance with me."
yeah. He's like, I don't want to die doing an insurance job with the Grim Reaper always watching over my shoulder. They tried to weasel something like that.
But like towards the end of the episode, um, we do see another instance of Simon's powers. So like it's Simon, Trevor, his Simon's mom, and his brother Eric. They're all in the newly renovated kitchen, um, and they're kind of arguing over like money stuff and like how Simon is gifted something to his mother that presumably he bought with the money that his mother gave him. And it kind of escalates, and and this was heartbreaking for me. He smashes that counter. Like I was like, no, it's new.
That smooth marble just shattered. With that, like, and the whole episode, Eric is showing off like pull-out features, like it's a whole wine rack right in the center of the island. The mom is like, "I've never had an island before, but I always wanted an island." Eric's pulling out cutting boards, and everyone's like, "Ooh, ah!" Simon's like, "Gotcha!" And that's a really cool special effect. Like it did sort of take me out, like the other times I mentioned that where we get glimpses of his powers, but it's a real nice slow mo shattering of the island. Very cool looking and kind of exciting. Um, they leave the party after that, and um, Simon sort of has a crisis at this point. He's starting to doubt himself. The nagging voice of his brother is starting to get to him, um, and he is now shared with Trevor that for the only person outside of his family that he does have powers. Um, Trevor ends up destroying the tape that he's made for damage control, um, and it's kind of curious because it's almost like he hits rock bottom. Simon hits rock bottom at this point,
Mhm.
but at the end of that episode, he gets a call from his agent that says he and Trevor are both moving on in the for callbacks in Wonder Man. I feel like in a normal show, they would have lived in rock bottom for another episode at least. But they're does I don't know. Are they rushing through this? Is this just the Marvel dump of episodes where like they're just shortening everything into smaller bits? I don't know.
Yeah. Um, I I will say they kind of mentioned it in the first episode, and they mentioned it again in the third episode. Um, Something called a doorman waiver that we don't
Yeah,
really understand what it is in the. I guess we do understand what it is in the first episode, which is it's just a waiver saying that you don't have any powers.
right.
Um,
But they don't
Simon,
explain why it's called Doorman in
yeah,
those episodes. Yeah.
yeah. But Simon brings it up in the third episode, saying that like if they find out ever anybody ever found out he had powers, he would never work again because of I think Damar Doorman Davis. Is that his name?
That sounds right. I was gonna say because of Josh Gad, wherever he may be.
Which brings us to the fourth episode. Um, I think titled Doorman, correct?
Yes, I'll say up front that like I I do not like the Marvel dump, structure of releasing shows. They just called this one Marvel Spotlight and put all the episodes out at once. And I think Doorman episode 4 is suffering the most for that because if this show was week to week, people would be talking about that episode for a lot of this, a lot of
Yeah,
those weeks after. You know what I mean? It's that good. It's that different. It's that fun. It's it's a crazy good episode. I really loved it.
yeah. So this is the episode where we actually flash back, and it is mostly in black and white, which threw me off for a second because of kind of the presentation of it. I was like, "What time are we in? Like, what time period are we in? Like, up front
Oh yeah, I wonder at what point was it clear that they were in, well, I guess when Josh Gad
when
shows
Josh Cat shows up,
up
it's
and
very
identifies
apparent that we're
himself.
at current time."
Yeah, it's not like he's like I'm playing a character. It's like it's me, Josh Gad. um, and he sings "You Want to Build a Snowman" or whatever.
So we open up with Damar, who he's essentially like a doorman, like a bouncer type of this club, um, and like they kind of like slowly reveal that he is like he's happy with his position in life. He doesn't really want to be an actor. He doesn't want to do anything else. He's happy just being a doorman.
No true ambition, but like, but yeah, content and happy and just living his life.
Yeah. Josh Gad shows up to the club. He lets him in. I was not expecting Josh Gad, although I'm
Yeah,
glad that I'm glad it was a contemporary actor that I knew who he was, because that placed me in the current time.
Josh Gad is kind of a perfect level of like people know who he is, or if they don't, they know he's like, oh, what do I who do I he's one of those guys where you're like, oh, I know him from something. And then once they pretty quickly establish that he's Olaf from Frozen and that he's singing the song. Um, so yeah, he's definitely one of those guys. Did I tell you I saw him once in the subway?
No.
Well, I used to go. It was in the 42nd Street subway, so like, of course, he was probably doing um, Book of Mormon
Okay.
because he was doing he did some Broadway stuff too. But this would have been after The Rocker came out, I think, because I knew who he was, and I was like, oh my god, I know that guy. Anyway, end of story. I didn't say anything to him.
Um, but uh, so after the night is over, um, he's talking with the owner of the club, and they're talking about how long he's been there and how he's happy there. He takes a bag of trash out, and the dumpster that he normally would have put the trash in is full.
Yeah.
So he sees a different dumpster, which, for eagle-eyed and Marvel viewers, says the word Roxxon on it.
Can you explain to Roxanne for us? Like, have we seen it in the MCU before? If we have, or if we haven't, what is the significance in the Marvel 616?
So I guess it depends on what exactly is the MCU, because we have seen Roxxon before, but in Cloak and Dagger, the
Oh, fun.
FX, no, was that FX show, or no, it's
I mean,
ABC Family.
I thought it was UPN. But yeah, ABC Family sounds right.
Yeah. Um, so Roxxon appeared in Cloak and Dagger. So um, in the Marvel universe, Roxxon is kind of the evil corporation, basically. And they don't like, it's not like Stark Industries is like a, like a arms company. Roxxon, I think, is like more of like like chemicals and things like that.
Okay.
Like, uh,
In the DC universe, it would be Access Chemicals. In the real world, it would be Exxon, maybe.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
think that's probably where the name comes from. Like Roxxon and
Yeah.
Exxon sound very similar. But Roxxon Roxxon is the company um, that was responsible for how Cloak and Dagger got their powers. Which, and I'll get to this a little bit later, actually. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if we've seen Roxxon anywhere else in the MCU.
According to, just real quick, according to the internet, Iron Man, the company logo appears in the background. Iron Man 2, Roxxon sponsored cars featured at the Monaco Grand Prix. A funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer. Coulson stops at a Roxxon gas station. Iron Man 3, a Roxxon Norco tanker causes an oil spill, and the company is central to the climax's setting. Um, Television appearances, just Agent Carter, Daredevil, uh, and then there's a video game mention. Um, but yeah, those are the only MCUs. So
Okay.
it's been mostly background for sure.
Yeah. Um, but Damar, for some reason,
But some reason that no one can grasp is like, huh?
well, he sees a little leak. He sees a leak from this dumpster and decides to touch it.
Even my wife was like, no. It just doesn't make sense. Like, no way. Like, it's not like he touches it with his fingertip. He puts his whole hand into it. He's like, this is the solution. No way. No way.
It's like,
There's
I
no
wonder
way.
what this feels like.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're that curious, poke, like it's leaking from a dumpster, poke it with a stick. Like, give the stick magic powers. It seems like a
Um,
real move.
yeah. So Damar ends up getting powers. Essentially, like things can pass through him. Like he can act as a door, which where he ends up with the door or the nickname doorman.
Ding dong.
Um, Ding dong. Which is his catchphrase, which is okay as a catchphrase, I guess.
I mean, they say in the episode they offer an alternative, and they're like, "It wouldn't knock knock be better?" He's like, "Yeah, that's pretty good."
Um, but he ends up getting powers, and the following day, I want to say, um, ends up having to use his powers to save the club full of people, because the door for some reason is jammed, and Olaf has started a fire in the club.
Not like a fun fire where like this place is on fire. Like the place is actually on fire. I his They can't get the door open, and he's on the doorman's on the outside. Damar's on the outside. He passes through the door and says to people, "Go through me, run through me," and everyone's like, "Huh?" Except Josh Gad, who trusts him and goes through. And then everyone goes through, and he saves them all. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think partially Josh Gad has had maybe too many drinks.
Yeah, that that could be. That's sure. All right. Okay, I know it's his first day using the powers, but what are better ways he could have got that door open using those powers? Anything? Could he
I don't
like
know.
pass the lock through his
Yeah,
himself and like separate it from the door? I don't know. Does it work that way? I don't know.
I don't know. We don't get any we don't get a whole lot of explanation on how his powers work,
Yeah.
which um are kind of similar to Cloak and Dagger's powers.
Hmm. Okay.
Cloak has the ability to, I believe it is access. I want to say it's the dark dimension, but I don't know that for sure. Because the
Yeah.
dark dimension is something specific in Marvel Comics.
Okay. If I didn't know who Doorman was, I would have thought this was Cloak because I recognize them as cloak-like powers.
Yeah,
From and Cloak and Dagger are more recognizable than Doorman is ultimately.
yeah. Um,
Um, I mean, do we want to get into that now? Like Doorman in the comics?
is there a Doorman in the comics?
Hell yes! He's part of the Great Lakes Avengers.
Oh, okay. You got. I need to know this now.
The Great Lakes Avengers classically are Flatman, Big Bertha, Immortal, and Doorman. He basically looks like Spider-Man, all except all black, and then he wears like a white cape. And we've seen Mr. Immortal before. He showed up in She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Yeah.
Um, and I hope he kind of comes back because I hope that Wonder Man reforms the Great Lakes Avengers.
I was gonna say, is this the secret MCU crossover that they've been planning for the past few years? Because um, you know, when the MCU first started, we had the Avengers, we had Iron Man, then Thor, then Captain America, then there was the Avengers crossover, and everybody's really excited for that. Are we working up towards the Great Lakes Avengers?
This is it. They're like, yes, we spent millions of dollars setting up the Young Avengers. Forget it. We're gonna spend tens of dollars setting up the Great Lakes Avengers. They are kind of a joke team, uh, but Doorman's powers are kind of legit. At first, I thought he was the Spot or whoever it is from Across the Spider Verse, the villain from Across
Yeah,
the Spider Verse, because that's similar but better because he can like throw them all over the place or whatever. But yeah, Doorman, yeah, his it seems to be his powers are similar to what he's doing in the show. In the
okay.
show, Josh Gad is grateful to him, and he befriends him and hires him, brings him on to be his doorman, to be kind of security. Like if there's a crazy situation where I guess Josh Gad is getting into all the time, he will sneak him out the back door, aka
His
sidewall
body.
and his body. uh, and eventually he gets pulled into doing movies with Josh Gad. In Cash Grab, the movie Cash Grab, he basically plays a version of himself where they use him to get out of closed safes or things like that.
Yeah.
Um, so cash grab sounds great. But he becomes a star in his own right. He starts doing commercials, and he's one of those celebrities that like everyone seems to be talking about at the moment because he has this weird, crazy power, and he has a catchphrase that sort of lands and becomes a thing, but then quickly becomes a joke.
He is the MCU equivalent of the Haktua girl.
Hawk. I mean, there's never been such a great comparison. Uh, except he should have a crazier catchphrase that's more suggestive, like Haktua. And it's all right there. It's like, come into me, go through me. Those are great. It's the same. It's on the same level. But yes, that seems accurate. And he starts to take it personally. He becomes really depressed about it. He doesn't want to be a punchline, basically.
Yeah, and like I like how the episode kind of contrasts like him how happy he is at the beginning of like basically like of his situation, and like he's been given this like a lot more than he ever I guess could have dreamed of. But you can tell he's not happy. Like he never like
Yeah.
um I guess like the expectations of like what he should be doing, and kind of the pressure of like to continue that like just like brings him down. Um, he stars in a commercial for anti-constipation medicine.
Yep. Who does he lose out to? They say like
Michael Strahan.
people love Michael Strahan, and everyone knows he's battling IBS. So great.
Um,
Yeah. So he becomes depressed, and it says here that it takes a toll on him, and it leads him to alcoholism. And then during the filming of the sequel, Cash Grab 2, I mean, they're in an armored truck, throwing sacks of money through him, and then it's time for Josh Gad to go through. He goes in, but he doesn't come out.
yeah,
And this is why we have the doorman clause.
yeah. So I was like, oh, is this why they filmed it in black and white? Because um, Josh Gad like jumps into Doorman Damar, and he vomits like full on like
Yeah,
vomits. I was like, that probably would have been looked a lot grosser in color.
probably. What if if it were in color? What if it was a different color? What if it was the same color as the ooze that was coming out of the dumpster? So it wasn't just like, you know,
Yeah,
pizza flavor, pizza colors. It was like it was like neon green or something like that. It ends in a grand way where Hollywood studios are now they have the doorman clause, so no one in Hollywood could have superpowers because of the dangers that come along with it. But what happens to Damar? Is he under watch all the time by damage control now?
so Mario Lopez also a celebrity cameo, and like I was thinking about this, and like, do you think when Marvel came to Mario Lopez is like, we want you to be in the Marvel universe,
He's like,
and Mario Lopez is
finally.
like, what? Who do I play? And they're like, yourself.
Yeah. Wait, you're still on extra, right? He's like, yeah. I mean, I'll take it. Whatever, right?
Yeah. So he like they do mention that like all the studios have kind of like agreed to not hire people with superpowers. The insurance rates have like would be astronomical to try to insure people with powers. So like they're just not hiring them. So they kind of set up this doorman waiver where people have to just attest that they don't have powers. They do kind of mention that the Department of Damage Control is studying Damara.
Okay. And
So
waiting for signs of Josh Gad to appear because he's still
yeah,
gone. Like they don't know where he
yeah,
is. Um, and of course, the whole episode is dedicated to this story, and it leans so heavily on what we've seen so far, and presumably what comes next. That I mean, it's Simon's complete dilemma. He has superpowers that he's hiding because he wants to pursue acting. So it's all because of this episode. That's why he has to hide it. Can we talk a little bit about uh, where Josh Gad is now? Like you mentioned briefly, like a dark dimension.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's in like? Is it possible that Doorman leads to the Void?
Hmm. It's interesting, yeah. Because we do kind of see in that episode, I don't, and it's kind of unclear like what was happening. We don't know if they're actual like an actual place or just like the Mars like nightmares, but like he sees a bunch of doors
Yeah, yeah,
in a, like a dark space. So that could be whatever dimension he travels in and out of, I
sure.
guess.
But tons of characters use that. Like that's how Nightcrawler teleports. He's traveling to another dimension. That's how Magic teleports. She's traveling to a different dimension, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's not so clean with all the doors.
Yeah.
Those are the first 4 episodes. What did you think overall? Like, how you have a good feeling going into the
Yeah,
next few?
I'm enjoying it a lot. Like, um, I really enjoy the, um, I guess I really enjoy the kind of groundedness of everything. How it's like a much smaller story, which I feel like Marvel should do more often.
Yeah, I feel like every episode, every TV show is a promise of, oh, we can do that. Like, here's this corner of the Marvel universe, but there's almost like a formula that says it has to grow to a point where it can't be controlled anymore, and people just get mad at it. Um, I mean, that said, I've enjoyed most of what Marvel's put out. This just feels different though. It just
Yeah,
feels good.
yeah, and like I think Yaha Abdul Madeen and Trevor, I was gonna I almost called him Trevor, Ben Kingsley. Like I
Trevor
like
Kingsley,
how
Sir Trevor Kingsley, that's all right.
I do like it is a showcase for both of them.
Yeah,
And they're both great actors, so like I think that's part of what makes the series great.
they're terrific, and I don't want to spoil anything that's going to happen. I just hope they can find a way to keep them together, and give them more to do because this could so easily be the last we see of them in the MCU, and that would be a shame. Like the chances of us not seeing Echo again are sad because that was a fine show too. Like I had no problem with Echo, but they could just Echo could be gone and almost no one would care, which is sad, but it's true. If these guys never show up again, especially together, that would be a tragedy.
Yeah, I agree. Um, so any other thoughts you want to share about the first episodes of Wonder Man before we sign off?
That 4th episode's a real winner. Um, I love them all though. This is great, and I'm excited to talk about the next 4. I don't want to spoil it, so I'll just say I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you think about them.
Yeah, and we will be coming at you with the next 4 episodes, or I guess the last 4 episodes of Wonder Man and what we thought of those. So be stay tuned for that. And have you seen Wonder Man? If you've seen all of Wonder Man, try not to spoil anything in the comments below because I haven't watched all four or I haven't watched all eight episodes yet. Don't
Don't
just
be a
be
jerk.
nice.
Don't be
Yeah,
nice. Come on.
as long as it's about the first 4 episodes, that's fine. Are there other pieces of Wonder Man lore that we have missed?
Oh my god,
Um,
we barely scratched the surface.
um, but if you know something, drop us a comment. Um, and if you like this, hit that thumbs up, give us a like, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. And we'll catch you all on the next one.